So seems like this is happening.
For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
We're doing this again. I put out a poll asking, I'm sorry, it's a squeaky chair. I put out a poll asking what you would like the next tier maker to be. And to be honest with you, I was kind of toying around with the idea of doing one for the Spider-Man franchise, like those movies and the spin-offs, but I have not seen Madam Web, and I don't really want to. So I'm happy that 9 of the 10 people, or 9 of 11 people, whatever, voted for this. So thank you. On behalf of, like, this is just me being genuine, thank you for picking this. So, this is of course the Jurassic franchise, everything as of right now. We will be getting Chaos Theory Season 2 in October, I believe it's the 17th of October. And then of course next year we will be getting Jurassic World Rebirth. So, going over here, I only have 4 tiers because I couldn't think of a creative name for a middle one. So, we have, going from the bottom, that is one big pile of shit, not a fan, clever girl, and welcome to Jurassic Park. I'm not that creative when it comes to naming, so I did try. If you want to do this, then you can change the titles if you want. So, starting off with, of course, the original. I mean, we all know where this is going. The top, like, come on, what do I need to say about Jurassic Park that hasn't already been said? It is a movie that changed movies. It was the first one to put, real CGI dinosaurs on the big screen. And I mean, even excluding the CGI, the but the puppets and things were truly just fantastic in Jurassic Park. The characters, the main ones, right? Like John Hammond, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, I was about to say Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm, all fantastic. Even Tim, I love Timmy. Lex can just die, honestly. She was the most sickening character. I hated her then, I hate her now, doesn't matter. But I feel like I'm not the only one in on that. So, that's good at least. But yeah, I mean, this movie is just too iconic. The music is some of the greatest in cinema history. And, you have some just iconic sequences. Everything in this movie is iconic. And it's just ridiculous. The kitchen scene, the T-Rex breaking out, the clever girl scene, it's just fantastic. I mean, 3 of these categories are from, like the names are quotes from Jurassic Park. That just says a lot. So, yeah, Jurassic Park is undoubtedly going in the top tier. Then we have The Lost World. This is one that I never liked. I'm sorry, I never liked this movie. But it's a bit negative to put it in that is one big pile of shit. Because, of course, this movie it's kind of like the first film in that it is very grounded and serious. But this is one that I never liked as a kid. I never liked it then. I don't really like it now. And it's just like, if you're picking any movie from the franchise and you say, oh, we're gonna watch The Lost World, I'll be like, oh, really? Can we not pick something else? That's the only movie I'm like that for. Because this one, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's like not as memorable as the first Jurassic Park. And there are some good sequences. Don't get me wrong, there are some really good sequences, like the San Diego scene, the tall grass scene. There we go. I was about to say there's nothing else in that movie, but no, there are a couple scenes. But I really like this one, especially since Ian is like the main focus. Ian is a fantastic character. But he's another example, and I think Marvel needs to learn from this, is that Ian is another example of a great side character, but doesn't really warrant getting his own movie. And I say that he was my favorite human character in the franchise, but I don't know. This movie, it's one that I never liked, but I wouldn't say that it's a bad movie. It's just that I didn't like it. That's just my opinion.
Editing Shaveh here. For some reason, I never actually elaborated on this, but yes, Ian was my favorite character, and then, especially after Dominion, Dr. Grant became my favorite character. So that's who my favorite character became.
So that's fine. For some reason, we're going out of order here, but I don't care. We're going in order. Jurassic Park 3 is going to go in Clever Girl. I love Jurassic Park 3. I know that it's a crime. It's a crime to like Jurassic Park 3 because the beloved T-Rex got killed. Oh, what a travesty. That was the best scene in the world when I was a kid and I saw that. The reason why I say that is not because I want to be different, all right? I'm not saying that because I want to be different. The T-Rex, even when I was a kid, I was like, there's so many other dinosaurs and people only don't shut up about the T-Rex. There's other creatures. And when I was like 4 or 5, the one show that I absolutely loved was Planet Dinosaur. And Planet Dinosaur had the first episode be the freaking, the Spinosaurus. And from that moment on, once I heard it was bigger than the T-Rex, I was like, what? A carnivore bigger than the T-Rex? There's no way. That episode is the main reason as to why Spinosaurus to this day is still my favorite dinosaur. But yeah, I'm being completely serious. That camera is so crooked. There we go. Yeah, I'm being completely serious. So I knew about Spinosaurus before Jurassic Park 3. And I think that's probably the reason why it's my favorite dinosaur. I'm gonna have to unplug the laptop. Yeah, I love Jurassic Park 3 because also because it has Alan mainly. But the main reason why it's not in Welcome to Jurassic Park is because of the other human characters. The dinosaurs in this movie are brilliant. The Compies, the Spinosaurus, the Pteranodon, well, it's not a dinosaur, but the Pteranodons, all fantastic. It's the human cast that brings this movie down because Eric is an uninteresting child. I don't really care for him. Amanda is the most sickening bitch in this entire franchise. She's the one character. I hated Lex, but Amanda is the one character who I can just straight up say is a bitch. She is sickening. And I don't care what you say. I don't care who you pick. She is the worst character in this entire franchise. Then freaking the husband, Paul Kirby, just a wimp really. He's very uninteresting. Billy could have done more with his character. I feel the only interesting person was Alan, was Dr. Grant. And speaking of Alan, I don't really understand why people lost their minds over the whole like the dream sequence in the plane. I don't really understand that. It's literally just a gag. Like, give it a break, guys. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3 is one that will definitely remain there just because of the sequences, like the raptor, like when the raptors attack and Dr. Grant's like, it's calling for help. That scene. Of course, the T-Rex versus Spino. That was such a good fight. Mainly because it didn't keep cutting back to the damn humans, Jurassic World Dominion. But man, I love this movie. So yeah, Jurassic Park 3 is definitely going up there. This is going to take a long time to explain. Look, right, ever since I was a little kid, we're talking like maybe 2 or 3, Jurassic Park was always my favorite movie. I loved it. I loved rewatching it over and over and over. And I knew that even at that age, I was like, this is definitely something that, people don't just gloss over. This is a movie that people cherish. But Jurassic World is, and I've said this before, it is my favorite movie of all time. Now, before you even complain about me not appreciating Jurassic Park, I know what Jurassic Park is. I appreciate it. I love it the way that people... Because obviously I wasn't around when Jurassic Park came out. but I love it the way that people who were, I love it the way they do as well. It is an easy 10 out of 10 and is one of my favorite films ever. But I just can't let go of Jurassic World. It is a movie that I will cherish forever. I watched it more than probably any other film in my life. And there's just something about it. It plays on the nostalgia, but at the same time is a really good movie. Because the human characters, the ones that are meant to be annoying, are annoying. The ones that are meant to be likable are likable. Like Gray. Gray, especially when I went to go watch Jurassic World. I'm pretty sure that was the first movie I went to go see in IMAX. It was 3D IMAX. And actually, the reason why I chose this poster and not the actual movie poster is because this is the first thing of the movie I ever saw. Because I was at my grandparents' house and I was just looking at the newspaper. And this was the cover of the newspaper, is this image of the Mosasaurus and the shark. I was like, what the hell is that? And then I saw Jurassic World. Like, what? No, what is Jurassic World? And then it was like more on page 8 or whatever it was. And it had the shot of the Indominus Rex about to kill one of the ACU guys. And I was sitting there thinking like, what dinosaur could this be? It doesn't look like an Allosaurus. It doesn't look like an Albertosaurus. I don't know what this thing could be. And of course it was a hybrid, but you know. Jurassic World, as you know, also in terms of its sequences, I think it has some of the greatest sequences in the franchise, and not just action sequences, just scenes, like when Gray and Zach get to the park, and Gray says, "I don't want to wait anymore," and then just opens the door, and you just see the park with the music. That is something that I will never forget. It basically. It was like the Jurassic Park that was meant for me, but I loved Jurassic Park more. And only in recent years I came to appreciate Jurassic. Well, I say appreciate. I realized how much I love Jurassic World. So, also, I mean, the concept of the hybrid, you know, Indominus Rex is just the most unstoppable creature in the franchise. But I love how they handled it. They didn't treat it like the supervillain. You know, that, and you know, yes, it was unstoppable, but they didn't overdo it. And I really love Jurassic World. I don't know how much more I can reiterate that, but it is my favorite film of all time, and it probably will remain there. So yes, it is basically the modern Jurassic Park, but a good thing about it is that on top of it being like a modern Jurassic Park, it's what Jurassic Park wished it could have been. And I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the park, because in Jurassic World, it's the first time we actually get to see the vision John Hammond had of this park where humans can actually interact with the dinosaurs. And it really was just a phenomenal experience, and I will never forget that. So, yes, as much as it may piss you off, Jurassic World is going to be at the top for me. And I know that there's going to be people watching this who are like, how dare you put anything above Jurassic Park? I'm sorry, but I had to. Next up is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This I am going to put at the top of not a fan. And the reason why it's there is just because this is where the franchise, like Jurassic World, was more Jurassic Park than Jurassic World sequels. What I mean is that Jurassic World took itself seriously, and it actually like had some horror elements into it, and it wasn't really much of an action movie. Because I want you to think about this: how many scenes in Jurassic World can you genuinely say are action? Maybe the motorcycle scene with the raptors and the final fight. That's it. That is it. Fallen Kingdom is where the movie started to really become more action sci-fi than like horror sci-fi. You know, it like the first Jurassic Park, and the first Jurassic Park I'd say is more like the first Alien movie. You know, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is more like Alien Resurrection. So Fallen Kingdom, it was a movie that I was really excited for, because of course I've said how much I love Jurassic World. But When I heard that there was going to be another hybrid, the Indoraptor, I was like, what the hell? What is this? You are taking Indominus Rex, an already unstoppable creature, and you are going to make it even smaller. So now it can be in the house with you. And this whole idea of auctioning off the dinosaurs, it's crazy. But Fallen Kingdom just was too cheesy. They tried to chuck in like too much comedy, and I don't know, man. There's just something about it, and I think it's mainly to do with the Indoraptor. It's just that the Indoraptor did nothing in this movie, and also this is definitely where the franchise started to become more PG, you know, with the kills, because there was no blood in this movie. Actually, sorry, no, there was blood on the Indoraptor's teeth, but apart from that, in terms of the actual kills, there was not a drop of blood, and I could not believe that. Especially given how bloody Jurassic World was, you know, like with the ACU soldier scene, there was blood raining from the trees. Here, nothing, and it just got even worse from there. So yeah, there's plenty of things wrong with Fallen Kingdom, but it's not bad. That's the thing that I will say, and this is where I kind of wish I had a middle category, because I would definitely put it there, because there's things that I like about it, but there's also things I don't like about it. The things I don't like about it I listed already, but things I do like about it, the Indoraptor's design I thought is cool. Its music, the music, oh my god, Fallen Kingdom had some of the best music in the franchise. I completely forgot about that. It's like the scene where the Indoraptor is introduced, which, by the way, one of the greatest introductions to a villain dinosaur in this franchise. You know, when I'm sorry if I keep saying, you know, I don't know why I do that, but it's like when Mr. Eversol is going, and now, ladies and gentlemen, that we are halfway through the evening, and he goes there, preview asset, yada yada yada. But he gives like one of the coolest lines, you know, like when he says, a creature of the future made from pieces of the past. Ladies and gentlemen, please be warned. This is the perfect blend of the two most dangerous creatures that have ever walked the earth. We call it the Indoraptor. I love that. That is just like one of the coolest scenes from all the movies, in my opinion. But then it just goes downhill. Like, I don't know. The movie was just, I don't know. It felt like it was a mishmash of too many different things. Like there was the Indoraptor plot, there was the island blowing up plot, and then at the end, you know, you got one of the most shocking endings in the franchise, and that is the dinosaurs being released into the wild. So yeah, it's unfortunate that Fallen Kingdom is in here, but again, if I had a middle category, I would have put it there. Then we have, oh lord, Jurassic World Dominion. I've seen this movie maybe 6 times, 7 times, and as far as the theatrical cut would go, I would put it there. Yes, I love Jurassic World Dominion. Hold on. But the extended cut might just put it above Jurassic Park 3. Now, the reason why I love Jurassic World Dominion is because of the humans. The humans in this movie are actually enjoyable because they are characters that you have spent 3 movies with each. Okay, apart from Maisie, but that's the only weakness in terms of the human plot. And Dodgson, but there's many things wrong with this movie, trust me, because I know what we all wanted from this. We wanted dinosaurs in the wild, and I could not have been more annoyed that they didn't do that. And the thing is that I can rag on Jurassic World Dominion as much as I want. I can say, oh, there weren't enough dinosaurs in the wild. Dodgson, a character from the original Jurassic Park, is utter rubbish in this movie. The fight scene between the Giga and the Rex and Theory was disappointing. You know, everything like that. The Dilophosaurs looked like rocks. You know, they looked like statues. There's plenty of things I could complain about. Owen Grady, again, feeling invincible. I mean, he survived a pyroclastic flow in Fallen Kingdom, and then ice cold water in Dominion. The man is basically Star-Lord. Actually, Star-Lord is still a human, you idiot. Yeah, it's just, there's so many things I can complain about. But when I sit down and watch Dominion, I have more fun with it than almost any movie in the franchise. And again, I did say the theatrical cut is going like below Jurassic Park 3, but the extended version is much better. With, first of all, the opening is of course fixed because you have the prologue, which was released on YouTube like a year before the movie or something like that, of the Giga and Rexy in the prehistoric times, or what we believe is Rexy. You also get plenty of extended scenes, my favorite one being the one between Dodgson and Ramsey. Like Dodgson goes to like delete some footage or something like that, or some information, and he just goes on this monologue. And I've only seen the extended version once, but man, it is so much better than the theatrical cut. And while I wish that we had gotten the movie that we'd all wanted, the movie that Dominion is, I really love. And the whole thing about the locusts they're barely in the movie. I understand that, yes, they are the catalyst that make the movie happen, because like Doctor Who uses them, or I was experimenting on them, should I say, and that's the whole thing. That's the reason why the movie happens. But the locusts are barely in the film. But I guess I can see both sides. People who love this movie, like myself, and people who hate this movie, but still made $1 billion. That's why we're getting Jurassic World Rebirth next year. But yeah, this movie had so many missed opportunities. I mean, the Spinosaurus. Why the hell would the Spinosaurus not be here? And that's the problem. Is that you can go on YouTube, and I want you to do this. Go onto YouTube and search Jurassic World Dominion fan-made ending. Every single one has the Spinosaurus in the fight against the Giga. And speaking of the Giga, this is another example of a villain being built up by the director and just being garbage. The Giga was literally just an animal. It was just doing its thing. There was no reason for Rexy to kill it. But another thing that this movie suffered from is being marketed as the end of the franchise, when really we all knew it wasn't going to be. But if it was the end, this would have been the worst ending ever. Like, okay, actually, no, I shouldn't say that, because we did get Ellie and Alan together at the end. But yeah, Jurassic World Dominion is definitely not the movie it should have been. But the movie that it was, I absolutely loved it. And that is precisely why it's going up in there. That may actually piss people off more than me putting Jurassic World over Jurassic Park. So, yeah, that's all the movies done. Now we move on to the show, of course, Camp Cretaceous. Season 1 is going into Clever Girl. And actually, you know what? I will put it above Jurassic Park 3. I love this franchise, by the way. There's nothing here that I hate. So, actually, no, there is one thing. But, yeah, barely anything that I hate. That's why the categories are, like, so close to each other. There's, like, amazing, really love, iffy on, and then just terrible. But Camp Cretaceous Season 1 is possibly the biggest surprise I've ever had in this franchise. Because I knew for a while that there was this animated Jurassic World show coming out. And I saw things. Actually, do I have it? Oh, I don't have it here. Shit. I have the figure of baby Bumpy and grown-up Bumpy. And this, when I heard like it was animated, I was like, oh my god, please no. Why is it animated? But this, the first 3 episodes, I'll admit, pretty slow, but I like it. Because it's exactly what the first 3 episodes of a show like this should be. Then episode 4 happens, and it goes like fucking balls to the wall crazy, because that is when the Indominus Rex shows up. And the animation in this show, obviously it gets better with each season, but season 1, it was the beginning. Season 1, this animation was brilliant. I loved it. I really, really did. especially the dinosaurs. The Indominus Rex looked amazing in this show. And, you know, the thing is, obviously, it was more kid-aimed, season 1. It wasn't as mature as, like, later entries in the show, or even Chaos Theory. But, yeah. Season 1 was it was very simple, of course, only 8 episodes. But I liked the setup it had, because I watched the first episode, I was like, okay. Then I never watched anything on Netflix before that wasn't a movie, so I thought it was like a 1 episode a day thing. So I watched episode 1, then the next day I watched episode 2, then the next day I watched episode 3, and then when episode 3 finished, it was like, watch episode 4. I was like, what the hell? Then I learned that everything drops at once, so I also learned how Netflix works with season 1 of Camp Cretaceous. So yes, this I think it's fantastic. It really, really is. Then we have season 2. Now, season 2 is probably, apart from one of them, probably the most hated season in Camp Cretaceous. And I never understood why. This, when I watched it, because all of the seasons, I think, I binged. I watched, like, as soon as they came out, I watched it all at once. And season 2, I was just sitting there with my eyes glued to the screen. I was like, this is so much more mature and darker than than season 1. I was so happy. I really, really was. So season 2, I think, is going to go above Jurassic World Dominion. This, I don't know, honestly. But season 2 has also had, like, completely unrelated effects on me. Like, if there's this song by Skillet called Salvation. And whenever I listen to that song, I actually get teary-eyed, because I think of this season. Because episode 4, I believe it is called Salvation. Well, yes, it is episode 4. It's called Salvation. So whenever I hear that song, I just think of salvation. And this season, it came out when I really was at, like, rock bottom in my life. It was a horrendous time, and this is something that at least kept me happy. You know, like the excitement of, oh my god, Camp Cretaceous season 2 is coming out. So yeah, I was really, really excited, and it honestly kept me from really just becoming, like, depressed. So I know that's probably not something they were aiming for, but it was just with the timing of the show, very completely unrelated to the events. But as far as the actual show the season goes, I really liked what they had done. I knew what the old plot used to be. Like, the Mitch and Tiff were sent by Biosyn to get the Scorpius Rex, I believe. So now, but then of course that changed because Dominion got delayed. So they changed so that they were just poachers, and I much preferred that motivation for them, that they're just poachers. And they are honestly probably the most unlikable antagonists in the show. They were horrendous, especially when Tiff killed Grim the Baryonyx. That was just unforgivable. So yeah, I love season 2 of Camp Cretaceous. I think it's fantastic, and especially the first episode. The first episode is very laid back, very, like, much dealing with the aftermath of the season 1 finale. And honestly, that might be my favorite episode of the entire show, just because of how relaxed it is, and the characters are just kind of chilling with each other. So yeah, I think that might actually be my my favorite episode of the entire show, is A Beacon of Hope. So yes. Then we have season 3. Guys, putting it above Jurassic Park would be a crime. But Camp Cretaceous season 3 was unbelievable. This truly was the turning point in the show, where I said season 2 was darker and more sinister than season 1. But season 3 cranks it up to 11. We were getting the creepiest sequences with the Scorpius Rex, and also this season had a lot of hype behind it, because season 2 of course ended with E750. We didn't know what this was because it had been building up since season 1, and we didn't know what this creature could have been. And then the toy sort of got leaked, and it said the Scorpius Rex. And you're like, there's no way. Oh god, excuse me. We're like, there's no way. Another hybrid. There's absolutely no way that this is real. And then season 3 happened, and we were getting all of these creepy endings to the episodes. Like, we could hear it roaring. The one episode when the Ceratosaurus gets killed, and we just see its body getting dragged off into the bushes. That was scary as hell. Then I believe it's episode 4 or episode 5 when we actually come face to face with the Scorpius Rex. And it is the ugliest and creepiest dinosaur in the entire franchise because of how weird its proportions are. Like, very long arms, and the way it moves is very human-like, especially like when it roars. You can just see it's very, very human-esque. And the face, the head is like really squashed. And it actually works with this creature because it was it was the first hybrid. So, of course, it was like the trial run, It's not going to look brilliant. Dominus Rex was like genetically, she was designed. Scorpius Rex was like the trial run. And I think that it is just a horrific creature. I love how they died, though. Of course, they got crushed by Jurassic Park, the classic. So, yes. Camp Cretaceous Season 3, even outside of the Scorpius Rex, the kids, they were brilliant. I love their banter with each other. Season 1, the first episode, though, is very, very cringe and impossible to sit through because, of course, it's that whole thing where Brooke and Yaz magically have like a feud, but well, not a feud, but like they don't really like each other because they're different. And even though they've been together for 2 seasons and they've been fine, why is this an issue arising in season 3? So I don't know. I don't really understand that. But apart from that, I can't really fault the season, honestly, especially in like episode 9 when they tie it in with the beginning of Fallen Kingdom, when you have Rexy, running along the main street and the Mosasaurus eating the guy. I love that. I really, really did that they tied that in with the Fallen Kingdom. So yes, season 3 of Camp Cretaceous is going at the top. Then season 4. Even though it has my boy, my head honcho on the poster, this is going to be the first entry into That Is One Big Pile of Shit. I don't think any of you are going to disagree with me on this. You may be angry that I put Jurassic World above Jurassic Park, that I put Dominion anywhere other than the lowest tier. But Camp Cretaceous Season 4 is something that disappointed everybody. Because season 3 ended with a really good note, because they got off the island and the camera had zoomed in to let you know there's something on the boat. And I can't actually remember what it was. I think it was it just compies? I don't remember. But yeah, season 4 was off to a really good start. I loved the first episode. I think it was called What Lies Beneath. And that was when the Mosasaurus attacked. It looked brilliant. That episode was so good. Apart from the whole Brooke and Kenji stuff. And this is where one of the main issues with this season came in. Is the whole thing with Brooklyn and Kenji. Why is this a thing? Why is this... Why? Like, we heard that they were going to introduce romance into Camp Cretaceous. And a lot of us were fine with it because we were like, oh, thank God, Brooklyn and Darius are finally getting together, because those two have had, they've had their moments. And I really, really enjoyed them together. Then season 4, it's like, Kenji and Brooke? What? That makes no sense. But yeah, and in season 4, it just kept going downhill. Like this season, honestly, oh yeah, forgot something really good about season 4. I know I was just ragging on it, but I mentioned the animation in season 1. Season 2 and 3 gets progressively better. Season 4 is truly when the animation is like, holy shit. You actually forget that you're watching an animated show. It's brilliant. It really, really is. It's a shame the story sucks though, because this season introduced the concept of the robots, the Brads. That's right. And honestly, it wasn't a bad idea. It was just executed terribly. Like the Brads, the normal Brads were okay. Like I didn't like the fact that they could like talk. I think they could speak. I haven't seen it. I haven't rewatched season 4. The only seasons I've rewatched are seasons 1, 2, and 3. But season 4, the Brads were just too ridiculous. This island, which really should have been either Isla Sorna or I believe it's called Isla Muerta, Side C. Why are we introducing a new island, the Manticore Island? But it just got too ridiculous. The amount that like the technology, the Brads were bad enough. But then you get the Brad X's, which like what the fuck is even that? Oh my god, it's terrible. But one thing that I will give season 4 props for is at least introducing more interesting creatures. We got the Smilodon, which is something we never thought we could get in this franchise. And it also saw the return of the Spinosaurus. And you know, I kind of wish they didn't put this poster out just before the trailer, because I think this poster was released like 24 hours before the trailer. I wish they didn't do that, because seeing the Spino in the trailer was like unbelievable. Which, speaking of which, the trailers for the previous seasons were amazing. Season 4 probably had the best one, maybe just below season 3, but it was fantastic. Seeing the Spino again was truly just, it was so good. It's a shame that they couldn't use the roars from Jurassic Park 3. That's such a disappointment. But yeah, season 4, again, another reason why it's kind of at the bottom is the ending. All of the seasons of Camp Cretaceous had a sort of conclusive ending. And even season 1, which did, end on a cliffhanger. Well, not a cliffhanger, but they got left on the island. That was the conclusion. Season 4 just ends. Like, I was like, what? Please don't tell me that's the end. You can't be doing this. And that was the ending. It was terrible. I don't care what you say. Daniel being the head of Manticore, I know people like Swerve already predicted that, but I was still shocked when it happened. I was like, oh my god, it's Daniel Cotton. Holy crap. But yeah, the season just had so many flaws, and really, it could have been the best. It really could have been the best. But that's the issue, is that when you get your expectations so high, they just end up going downhill. So then, that is it for season 4. Sorry, I rambled on a bit too much there. Then we have season 5, the final season of Camp Cretaceous. This is going to go just above the Lost World Jurassic Park. And the reason why I'm putting it there is just because I enjoyed it more than I did the Lost World. Of course, this could change. This could definitely change. The Lost World Jurassic Park could go above it. But season 5, you could see that they had learned a little bit from season 4, that they had sort of dialed the robots back a bit, but it wasn't enough. And this is when they introduced the mind control. Actually, no, they might have done it in season 4. I don't remember when they mind controlled. Yeah, no, it was season 4. It was when they introduced the whole like brain implant chip thing. They put it into the Brachiosaurus baby. I don't remember what his name was, but yeah. If anything, season 5 is just weakened because, of course, it had to deal with the crap of season 4, which was the overuse of the technology. And the Brads, I don't think did anything really. But what I did like about this season is that it brought back the old dinosaurs. It brought in the Spinosaurus. Actually, the Spinosaurus to last season. It brought in Limbo, which is the only surviving Baryonyx, by the way. Apart from the one in Fallen Kingdom. Like, there was one in Fallen Kingdom in the auction. So those are the only 2 Baryonyxes that we know of that are alive. And they brought in Bumpy. They brought in Toro. And, the whole thing with Kenji and his dad. just didn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, I did not understand that whole thing of, Kenji was with he was with the kids for like what, 6 months. I can't believe that he would just instantly choose his dad over that, especially given how his dad has clearly neglected him. But yeah, season 5, it introduced the Nothosaurus, to be fair. The Nothosaurus, it gave more of the Dilophosaurs, which were introduced at the end of last season. But it just wasn't good enough. It really wasn't. The only saving grace of it was the ending. And, while I have been mostly negative for season 5, it was still good. It was good. I just couldn't enjoy it. That was the only thing. So yeah, the ending was just fantastic to see. And it was crazy that after 2 years of waiting, we got to see the kids go back to the mainland, to their families. And then, Kenji living with Darius, I thought was brilliant. And then, of course, the ending shot of Darius looking outside his window and just seeing a Brachiosaurus. That was just fantastic. It was the perfect way to end off Camp Cretaceous. And, if that was the end for the characters, I would have been really upset because I really enjoyed the campers in that show. We thought we were going to see at least like Darius or Brooklyn maybe in Dominion, but nope, none of that. So yeah, Camp Cretaceous is over, unfortunately. And now, just before its second season comes out, we have Chaos Theory Season 1. This is a mixed one, because it's kind of like Fallen Kingdom, where there were many things I enjoyed about it, but there were also a lot of problems with it. But was it better than Fallen Kingdom? Yes. I don't know where to put this, honestly. It's either going to go at the top of Not a Fan or the bottom of Clever Girl. I think I am going to put it at the top of Not a Fan, because it's just, actually no, I might just rename this, honestly, because saying I'm not a fan of Chaos Theory is really negative. So yeah, just give me 3 seconds. This is brilliant. This is fantastic. Oh god, this is... Why am I laughing at this so much? This is from the Lost World Jurassic Park, when everyone is like mesmerized by the Stegosaurus. He's like, ooh, ah. Which, like, yeah, man, yeah, I think honestly I'm gonna leave it at that one. That's fucking brilliant. So yeah, Chaos Theory is going there. Oh god, I don't know what's wrong with me, man. You can complain as much as you want. That's fucking fantastic. So yes, Chaos Theory. There's the reason why it is over there, why it is so low, and that is because of the final episode. So the show up until that point, I thought was just amazing. It really was. And actually, you know what? No, I'm changing this back to Not a Fan. I moved it up to Clever Girl because most of the show was really good, and I feel like it doesn't deserve to be that bashed just because of the ending. But the ending was garbage. I'm sorry, that was absolutely terrible. Because throughout like the first like 9 episodes or whatever it was, I really loved how they were dealing with the death of Brooklyn, because obviously many of us thought that Brooklyn was gonna die, because of course Jenna Ortega is very sought after in Hollywood, and it just kind of sucks really, because of course she's voiced Brooklyn for 5 seasons of a show, and to see her get killed, I was, in the trailer at least, I was surprised, but at the same, well, actually I wasn't surprised. I was surprised they actually did it, but I wasn't surprised because it happened, if that makes sense. Like I expected that to happen, but I didn't think they would actually do it. And obviously there were flashbacks with a different voice actress, but what is interesting is what they're gonna do for season 2. I don't know what the budgets of these things are, so whether or not they could actually afford Jenna Ortega and her time, I don't know. But they probably will just go with whoever the new voice actress was. But what I enjoyed about Chaos Theory is that the entire group didn't just come together immediately. And that's the thing, is the Kenji and Brooke, they ended up breaking up, which... What the fuck? You literally ruined the last 2 seasons of an amazing show with this love subplot, and then you just make it completely useless in the next show. Why? This makes no sense. I cannot understand why they did this. Then now they throw in the whole, oh yeah, Kenji, I was in love with Brooklyn too. I don't understand why they did this. I really just didn't. Because Darius being in love with Brooklyn, yes, we wanted it. Not like this though. And now this means that in the next season, we are probably going to get a love triangle between him, Kenji, and Brooklyn, which is going to piss me off. If there's anything I hate when movies or shows do it, it's love triangles. It's so annoying. And in Stranger Things as well, they did that. But I mean, it wasn't so bad. But yeah, this, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, Chaos Theory is, I definitely appreciate it for being very dark. This is definitely a very dark show, and is not something that you should have your kids watching, at least not by themselves, because there are certain moments that are very tense, very dark, and this is the first time we actually see blood in the animated Jurassic World. I don't know what you call it, the freaking not genre, I don't know what you call it, but the animated side of the Jurassic franchise. It's the first time we see blood, and that little bit of blood, that splash that we saw, obviously when Brooklyn lost her hand, that little splash of blood is more than the total amount of blood in Jurassic World Dominion. So that's just crazy. I completely forgot what I was talking about at the beginning. When I was talking about why this finale disappointed me, is that the entire show really did a fantastic job at dealing with the death of Brooklyn. All of the characters had trauma. They were, Sammy hallucinating was probably the saddest scene in the entire show. I'd be lying if I said I didn't tear up at that. And, it was very, very sad to see, even Darius at such a low point, because we knew that he secretly liked her. But I love how they dealt with it. They kept bringing it up with all of the characters. And it just shows that it's not something, the death of someone like Brooklyn, the death is not easy to move on from. But then they just completely just say fuck you and your emotions at the end, because it's like, oh yeah, all that suffering you went through, all that crying, yeah, it was for nothing. She was alive the whole time, you dumbass. It was just so terrible. I hated that they actually let Brooklyn live. And that's the thing. I was talking to one of my friends who also watched this, and I was telling him, if there's 2 ways they would do this. If they can get Jenna for season 2, they'll bring her back in season 2. If they can't, then they will just leave her death and Brooklyn's dead. But unfortunately, they decided to reveal that she's alive in season 1. And I just don't understand it. I really didn't. And the one thing that, speaking of Brooklyn, that really annoyed me throughout the show was Darius, not Darius, but Kenji constantly butting heads with Darius, constantly instigating a fight between them, just arguing with him about Brooklyn. It really annoyed me. But at the same time, the other aspects of it were fantastic. I loved the dinosaurs in this show. I love how I've gone on for 10 minutes about this, and I never mentioned dinosaurs once. The Allosaurus I thought was brilliant. I like the aspect of having like one eye, so then you know which Allosaurus it is. The Beckel Spinax is a creature that I really, really love. I'd never heard of it before this show. I'd never seen it before, but the name and the design, oh, it's brilliant. It really, really is. But another reason why Chaos Theory is in Clever Girl is because, actually no, sorry, putting it above Jurassic Park 3 is a possibility. I don't know. I'll toy around with the idea. But yeah, the reason why it's in there is because it did what Dominion should have done. And that is, it was actually dealing with the consequences of the dinosaurs being in the real world. We were dealing with black markets. We were dealing with the actual like dinosaurs just in the wild. You know, you could just run into one. There's an entire unit, like security team, just tasked with like safely capturing dinosaurs. It was fantastic. It really, really was. And just seeing what Dominion should have been, it kind of sours the taste of Dominion even more. But I really, really like what they did with Chaos Theory and the dinosaurs. And also, speaking of the dinosaurs, the Atrociraptors were very confusing because Ghost is here. One of the other ones are here. I don't know. Panthera, Tiger, and... Panthera, Tiger... What was the other one? What? What the fuck? Panthera, Tiger, and Red. One of them was not there. So I don't know where the other Atrociraptor was. But yeah, I feel like the Atrociraptors were kind of underused, but I like what they did with them because it was supposed to be kind of mysterious. You know, you didn't know what they were doing. They were just kind of following Darius and Ben, which Ben has had a freaking glow up, by the way. But speaking of the Atrociraptors, that handler, I genuinely thought she was a robot. Because she wasn't blinking. Like when she got out of the truck and she just goes, it was like the Annabelle doll. And that's the thing, is that I think they made her a little bit too robotic. Because I genuinely thought she was a robot. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I spent like 15 minutes rambling on about how season 4 had too many robots. Yeah, I thought she was a robot. And, you know, you can tell that she loves the Atrociraptors. You can definitely see that. And, the design choice to remove her eyebrows, I thought was an interesting one. It definitely makes her creepier. But I can't help but feel like they could have made her someone from the franchise, like Sayona Santos, who I definitely think is going to be showing up in season 2, because of course she has the Atrociraptors in Dominion, but then again we don't know I don't know if this was actually revealed or not, but we don't know the time gap between Chaos Theory and Dominion, because in Dominion I believe she just got them, so yeah, that might be like the end of the Atrociraptors. So the last time we'll see the Atrociraptors in Chaos Theory will be just before Dominion. So yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. So yeah, that I think is going to have to be the ranking. I think the only reason why I'm going to keep Chaos Theory below Jurassic Park 3 is because of there were too many annoying subplots. Like, first of all, Brooklyn being alive is annoying. Well, I wouldn't say subplot, sorry. Just aspects. Kenji constantly picking fights with Darius. The love triangle with Darius, Brooklyn, and Kenji. It just got a little bit too much for me. And I think that's why, even though Jurassic Park 3 has some of the worst human characters in this franchise, I think I might have to just stick with this. Because, I don't know, man. I don't know. It might just stay like this. Hell, I might change this after the video goes up. But yeah, I think that is going to have to be it for now. I would rather watch Jurassic Park 3 than Chaos Theory Season 1, to be honest. So yeah, I think that is going to have to be it. That is the final entry in this tier list. So in the bottom tier we have Camp Cretaceous Season 4. Then we have The Lost World Jurassic Park, Camp Cretaceous Season 5, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Second best, we have Chaos Theory, Jurassic Park 3, Camp Cretaceous Season 1, Jurassic World Dominion, and Camp Cretaceous Season 2. And then in Welcome to Jurassic Park, of course the best tier, we have Camp Cretaceous Season 3, Jurassic Park, and Jurassic World. So yeah, I think that is going to be it. That is going to be the final one. And yeah, please let me know your thoughts on my tier list. How angry are you that I put Jurassic World above Jurassic Park? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.